On November 27, 2024, the legal profession within the common law community of the southern Cameroons was once again violently assaulted, this time in Douala, where Barrister Tamfu Richard, a renowned human rights lawyer, faced brutal treatment at the hands of Cameroon's gendarmes. If anything, the attack on Tamfu highlights the worsening state of justice in Cameroon, particularly for southern Cameroonians, as well as the systemic impunity that fuels atrocities. Tamfu's ordeal began when he intervened to challenge the unlawful arrest of one of his clients at the Groupement de Gendarmerie in Bonanjo, Douala. Upon stopping at the facility to question the client's arrest, which had been conducted without a warrant, Tamfu found himself the target of unprovoked violence. The gendarmes, instead of responding to his legitimate concerns as a lawyer, pounced on him with unrestrained display of brutality. Witnesses reported seeing him smashed to the floor of a Hilux pickup truck, trampled upon and stomped on with military boots like a criminal. The helpless population, some of whom begged the gendarmes to stop their assault, could do nothing to prevent the heinous act. The attack left Barrister Tamfu severely injured and requiring urgent hospitalization. His crime? Upholding the rule of law and demanding justice for his client. This incident raises urgent questions about the treatment of southern Cameroonian lawyers and the systemic bias they face in the country, where the legal system increasingly appears weaponized against them. Would Tamfu have suffered the same fate if he were Francophone? This question strikes at the heart of Cameroon's long-standing divide between the Francophone majority and the assimilated and marginalized Anglophone community. Instances like these reinforce the perception that southern Cameroonian lawyers, detainees, and citizens are treated as second-class people. For daring to speak out against injustice, they are subjected to humiliation, to violence and incarceration, while their Francophone counterparts often escape such brutality. This isn't an isolated incident. It is part of a broader pattern in which the justice system in that country is systematically used to silence voices of dissent, particularly from the southern Cameroons. Lawyers, who should be the custodians of justice, are instead treated as enemies of the state when they stand up for their clients' rights. This raises critical questions about the very foundation of Cameroon's legal and judicial institutions. What consequences, if any, will the gendarmes involved in this assault face? Definitely none. It is unlikely they will be held accountable. Cameroon's justice system has long operated under a shadow of impunity, where state security forces are rarely, if ever, punished for their crimes. The culture of impunity ensures that such actions are not only tolerated but implicitly encouraged by the state. This is a country where police officers, soldiers, and gendarmes routinely violate the law with little fear of reprisal. Why is there no protection for human rights defenders in that country? Human rights lawyers like Tamfu, who put their lives on the line to defend the oppressed, have no institutional safeguards. The fact that he was attacked while performing his professional duty shows the disdain the Cameroonian authorities have for legal norms and for the rule of law. If a respected lawyer can be assaulted so brazenly, what fate awaits the countless southern Cameroonians languishing in jails, many of whom were arrested without warrants or subjected to sham trials? These detainees have no access to fair legal representation because the very lawyers who would represent them are under constant threat. The treatment of Amazonian detainees epitomizes the systemic oppression of the southern Cameroonians. Arrested arbitrarily and held indefinitely, these individuals face a justice system rigged against them. Even when their cases are brought to court, the outcomes are predetermined, with convictions based on fabricated charges. The state's ultimate goal seems to be to ensure these detainees rot in jail, breaking their spirit and deterring others from resisting the oppressive regime that rules and reigns in Yaoundé. This is why the Amazonian struggle has persisted for over 8 years. 8 years. It is not merely a fight for political independence, but a battle against a system that dehumanizes and marginalizes southern Cameroonians. Barrister Tamfu's assault is a microcosm of the larger issue, a judicial system that is neither impartial nor just, but rather a tool for perpetuating tyranny. The Cameroonian government's, or we call it La République du Cameroon's, unwillingness to address such incidents demonstrates its tacit approval of these practices. By failing to hold the perpetrators accountable, the state sends a clear message that violence against southern Cameroonians, even against their legal defenders, is acceptable. This fosters a climate of fear and silence, where seeking justice becomes a perilous endeavor. The implications of this for the common law system in the southern Cameroons are dire. The erosion of legal norms and the targeted persecution of lawyers undermine the very principles of justice and equity. The attack on Barrister Tamfu serves as a warning to other lawyers. Challenging the state's actions could cost you your safety or even your life. This has a chilling effect, discouraging legal professionals from taking up cases involving state abuses, further entrenching the circle of injustice. The international community cannot afford to remain silent in the face of such blatant violations in La République du Cameroon. Cameroon has ratified numerous international treaties that obligate it to uphold human rights and the rule of law. Yet, incidents like this, like the assault on Tamfu, demonstrate a complete disregard for these commitments. It is imperative for human rights organizations, bar associations, and foreign governments to condemn this act unequivocally and demand accountability. The Amazonian cause is deeply rooted in the desire for justice, for dignity and equality, principles that are systematically denied under the current regime in Yaoundé. The assault on Tamfu is not just an attack on an individual, but an affront to these ideals. It is a stark reminder of why the struggle for independence remains essential for Southern Cameroonians. The Cameroonian government must answer for its actions. Are the gendarmes who assaulted Barrister Tamfu in custody and facing trial? If not, why not? Their continued freedom is a testament to a system that protects abusers rather than their victims. The international community must demand transparency and justice in this case and others like it. Meanwhile, the Amazonian people must remain resolute. The attack on Tamfu should strengthen their resolve to fight for a system where such atrocities are unthinkable, a country where they are unthinkable. The dream of a free Amazonia is not just about political sovereignty, but about creating a society where justice is blind, human rights are sacred, and no one is above the law. Barrister Tamfu's courage is standing up to injustice, even at great personal cost, embodies the spirit of the Amazonian struggle. His sacrifice must not be in vain. It is a call to action for all who believe in the rule of law and the dignity of humanity to speak out, demand change, and stand in solidarity with the oppressed people of the Southern Cameroon's Amazonia. Only then can we hope to break the chains of impunity and build a future where justice truly prevails.